Hello and welcome to Distributed Systems and Blockchain in the News. My name is Thomas Bocek, and since Ethereum Zurich is over, the conference and the hackathon with many great talks and interesting technical discussion, back to the news. And last time I mentioned the Ethereum Shanghai update. And since it's now done and stakers actually could withdraw their ethers and sell it theoretically on the market, well, the prices went up. Here we see everything's green. Not sure if it's related to this Shanghai upgrade or not, probably not, but this is good news for the ether holders. So let's start with the news. Let's start with Docker or its alternatives, Podman. I briefly mentioned Podman as an alternative to Docker with a different architecture. And the main difference to Docker is shown in the following article. Here I showed this also in the lecture. So here we see the Docker daemon with the Docker command line, and here we see Podman without the daemon. So Docker has a daemon while Podman does not. So it needs to use another daemon that keeps the containers running in the background. And luckily, every modern operating system has such a system daemon. Linux, you even can choose your own daemon that you prefer. Most Linux machines use systemd, and this is also what is used to run those containers with Podman in the background. And this article, that one presents the startup speed increase of Podman on a Raspberry Pi. And I think they chose a Raspberry Pi since on a modern machine it would be fast anyway. But if you run it on scale and under load, so every millisecond matters, and on a Raspberry Pi you can show it simply better. And they made an impressive speed up. They have the numbers down here. So from Podman 4.1.1 to version 4.4, they were able to reduce the boot time from almost 2 seconds here down to 0.3 seconds. That's quite impressive. And how they did it, so for example, one thing they did is they switched from run C to C run. The one is Go based, the other one is Rust based. Rust based, it's a bit more performant. I also tried to find other sources if this is actually the case, and I found this paper here. It's a bit older, it's from 2020, and they showed here that, for example, the device mapper is faster. The C-run device mapper is faster as the RunC device mapper, and also for the overlay, it's also faster. However, in this graph, it's already a bit older. Docker seems to still be faster than Podman, but I think in 2023 this may have changed. I have not run the numbers. They did a lot on their boot time, so this might be actually the case that it is faster. And another speed up that caught my attention is they mentioned they switched the networks to host. Last time I checked, that didn't work on Mac OS, so we couldn't use it in development, but I'm not sure what the status is currently. Back then I had to switch away from network host. I know this is much easier to set up because you actually don't need to set up that much, and if you need to run your own virtual private network, then the setup is a bit more expensive. And also they use now transient store. That means the data is removed from the image when the container stops, and this is also the default behavior of Docker. But nevertheless, Podman is booting in 0.3 seconds, which is very impressive. And I tried it a couple of times. I mentioned this. I switched back to Docker, but in the next project I'll try again to use Podman and see how it goes. The next article is about the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. they are trying to define what DeFi is. It's the following article here. And they mention that some DeFi platforms may fall under the proposed definition, but others may already be considered exchanges by the existing ones. I'm still not sure what it means for a decentralized exchange that trades on-chain assets against other on-chain assets. So I'm skeptical how this will turn out. In general, the US authorities puts pressure on various crypto firms. And the last article is an update on Tornado Cash. It's the following article here. This is from a US authority as well. It's from the OFAC, the Office of Foreign Asset Control, and they put the Tornado Cash wallet addresses, the Ethereum addresses, on a sanction list. The goal was to prohibit anyone within the US from dealing or interacting with this service. That means also sending and receiving money. And Tornado Cash is a service to anonymize Ethereum transactions. And while it can be used to wash money, there are also legitimate use cases. And what this sanction list caused is that GitHub took down the repository, the Tornado Cash repository. It's up again, and it's open source software. And even the developer of this Tornado Cash, he was arrested, and other contributors got their GitHub account suspended. And also interesting, there are two lawsuits from Coinbase and from Coin Center, and they want to see if OFAC is actually authorized to do that. And this article gives more update what also EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, is doing, including the discussion on the importance of financial privacy.